follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Oh, darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. We are still kids, but we're so
closer? I wasn't here. As soon as the music finishes. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Carla and Sello. Before we begin, we would like to start this afternoon's procedure with a prayer. Dear God and Heavenly Father, we come before you today with deep gratitude. Our words cannot express all the emotions, the feelings that we have, O Lord, right now. For them as a couple, and Father, it would be impossible to even describe what emotions and feelings are going through their hearts and minds right now. But all we can simply do, O Lord, is to place our heart into your hands and ask of you to accept it with everything that it contains right now. Please bless us, bless them, beyond our imagination, beyond our words, and grant that they may feel not just our love, but your love for the two of them. Dear Lord, protect us here from all harm and danger. Keep the influences from outside now. And keep us, O Lord, in oneness with that which you want to express to us and to Carla and Sello here this afternoon. Lord, hear their prayers. We are sure that they confided in you in many ways, O Lord, and we ask of you that this day may be the fulfillment of the dreams that they shared with you. Grant to them a special, unforgettable time with us as their family and friends. And be with those, O Lord, who could not come today. Some have come from far and some from near. But there are those who would have loved to be with them today. May their prayers and their blessings also descend upon Sello and Carla here today. Grant unto us now more than we can express to you in these few words, and bless us, O Lord, with more than what we could have expected. We ask and pray this of you in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you. You may please sit down. And also I ask that those in attendance also, if you can take up your seats, and just Carla and Sello will be here with me in front. Do you want to keep on looking at each other, or you want to look to me? You don't mind looking at her. You can look at her all day. Or you at him. Just a few announcements. First of all, let me tell you who I am. I'm Carla's uncle. I'm her father's younger brother. I'm the eldest, sorry. And Carla and Sello have asked me to dispense the blessing on their marriage vows for them today. My name is Cliff. A few other announcements as well. The bridal couple has asked that you do not do private photography, no live streaming, no Instagramming, no nothing. You know, they would like that those whom they've appointed to record today do their job. And you will obviously receive some of the footage that they will take here today. There will be more announcements afterwards. I will guide you through the wedding ceremony so you don't have to fear. And now I'm going to ask you to do something. Just take a deep breath, because I know that this moment is a moment where your mind is running wild and there are so many things, and that restlessness can sometimes be an obstacle to that which you want to experience here today. And often when I had done marriages and wedding blessings in the past, you would ask the couple, so how was the service? I can't remember. It was like a blur. And you say, where were you? I wasn't there. It was everything. It is natural to feel that way. And hence that deep breath, just to get yourself, your feet back on the earth so that you can enjoy and savor this moment. Okay, the Maldives will come. Then you can sort that out. So there is a hymn to be sung, but before I do that, I would like to just share what your word will be, your watchword for your marriage And it's actually very simple. I didn't even bring the Bible. It's lying in the car because I thought, why must I bring a Bible here when I can just simply make a note here on my tablet here? It's out of Acts 20, verse 35. And it's simple. It is more blessed to give than to receive. Okay, that's simple. Remember those words. It is more blessed to give than to receive. Now we wait for our soloist to come forward and regale us here. Do you need? Okay. You can face them. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear myself. May the good Lord bless and keep you, whether near or far away. May you find that long-awaited golden day today. May your troubles all be small ones, and your fortunes 10 times 10. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. May you walk in sunlight shining, and a bluebird in every tree. May there be a silver lining back of every cloud you see. Fill your dreams with sweet tomorrows. Never mind what might have been. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. May you walk in sunlight shining, and a bluebird in every tree. May there be a silver lining back of every cloud you see. Fill your dreams with sweet tomorrows. Never mind what might have been. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again.
Okay, what was your Bible word for today? It's fine, it's fine. I actually wanted the words, not the actual text. Very technical, right? More blessed to give than to receive, that's the word. Actually, let me just lighten up things a little bit and to introduce the couple to you, because today is all about them. And I was very sneaky. I asked them, just tell me a little bit about your relationship, but do so without sharing what you tell me with each other. It is quite different, quite starkly different. Let me just start by, I won't keep you in suspense. Please sit back and relax. Just think it's cold, and then you won't feel so overheated out there. We're going to need a little bit of time just to go through this. But it's Carla and Sello's day, so let's give them as much of our time as we can. I asked them, how did you meet? And and then realize that this is the special one sent by God for you. I'm going to read Sello first, and then I'm going to read Carla. That's the part where you must sit back and relax. Right, Sello first. We met at a mutual friend's house. Listen to all the detail. And what initially struck me about Carla was her supreme confidence. Carla is incredibly sure of herself, combined with a high level of intelligence. There was no ways I wouldn't look to put my best foot forward and make a part of my life in some way. 56 words. Brace yourself. Carla. Sello and I technically met on the dance floor of Ty's nightclub. His friend T introduced us and I remember being bowled over by him. I then went into the bathroom, listen to this detail, with T's sister Pam and began asking multiple questions about this guy. I then didn't see Sello for 2 years. We met again at Pam and T's parents' place where where his friends did all the talking, and Sello quietly sat there choosing to speak very rarely. I think he was getting over some girl. Now here I'm getting lost because I'm asking him how you met them. It carries on. It's getting better. I think he was getting over some girl. In true millennial fashion, I invited him on Facebook a few months later. He started liking my posts, but did not slide into my DMs. In June of that year, we only in 2014, in June 2014, I was at the Matse Banani household one night, fresh from a knee operation and on crutches. He walked into the party late, looking incredible, and once again the breath was knocked out of me. He didn't speak to me. Not once. I just stared at him the entire night. Maybe a week or two later, we all went to the Matse Banani household again. This time, I was not leaving without getting his number. I put my best foot forward, the yellow leggings, and waited for him to show up. He arrived very late, wearing a very tight red muscle t-shirt and slightly tipsy. He walked straight up to me and didn't stop talking to me for the entire night. Everyone kindly left us to chat around the kitchen counter, but peeked through the kitchen window to check on our progress. Remember, Sello only spoke 56 words. I think I've always known on some level that he's the one for me. There we get to the crux of the matter. But there is one moment in particular that I can think of. We go again. We were quite early in our relationship. We were sitting in the old Opel Corsa in the driveway of my parents' home, and I can remember just being overcome with emotion. What's new? I remember saying to him that I do not know exactly where this is going, but I know that I'm always going to be so thankful that I've met you. Then already I knew that whatever was happening between us felt bigger than me or him, and that I had found someone incredibly special. 367 words. Same story. Same story. It just takes longer. This afternoon could carry on forever. Is there anything that you could highlight in your relationship that you would like to share? And the Sello says, Carla and I have worked hard at the communication aspect of our relationship over the past 7 years. And from what I've been told in the lead up to our wedding, that is the cornerstone to a successful marriage, right, Sello? Communication. There are many great memories that we've shared over the course of our relationship, but I think what's been particularly rewarding for us is to see how our love has inspired those around us to want the version of what we have. We're not perfect individuals, but our relationship is damn near perfect. Okay, 95 words. I'm not going to do this to you, but Carla's answer is 326 words. So let me not do that to you. What are the things that you like the most about Carla? Carla is unbelievably strong, loving, caring, always checking on how I'm doing. Something so simple, but something that took a while upon me in our relationship is that I wasn't a sharer. before she came along. Uh, Gee was Carla. Carla, I love that even when I come to him for advice or a shoulder or an ear, he does not try and tell me what to do, but trust that I know what's best, what the best choice for myself is. He does not encourage my smallness and treats me according to all my bigness, my big qualities. I love that Sello deeply believes in my staggering dreams, never doubts them, and everything in his power. He does everything in his power to support me. I love the way he loves my mom and my entire family, and that he has embraced them all and all their quirks. He has looked out for my mom when I wasn't even able to. And every time that he does that, I love him more. Okay. Iraki uncle emotion. I love the fact that I could have written multiple essays here and he could probably say the same thing in 10 words. Okay, let's go on to the things that are quirky. Sello, what do you find quirky about Carla? He says, where do I begin? Carla has this habit of trying to strike up a conversation when I'm busy in the bathroom. I tried to ignore in the beginning, but it didn't work. So nowadays, we often have conversations while either of us are on the loo. She finds it quirky. I think, okay, it's something totally different, but she says his need for speed. When he presses that RS drive button in his car, truthfully, it drives me insane, and I'm sure it takes years of my life. I love the way he dances when he has a few drinks in. And in fact, in the 7 years that I've spent with him, I've tried to teach him how to jazz, and he still just doesn't quite have it. Brucci, the genes. And they're actually almost equal in terms of their words that they have said. And then they also go on to say what are their views, what will they do to make their marriage work. And he says, I hope our marriage continues to build and grow off the great friendship that we fostered. We will always strive to live a balanced, full and balanced life, supporting each other so that we can each succeed in whatever we pursue. And then she says, we want to build a rich and abundant life filled with adventure, with family, friends, and travel. And they're starting off in the right way. One that nurtures and supports each other in how we grow and change. We are very intentional about taking things in each moment and choosing each other in each moment. A life that always acknowledges the present, and that even when difficult situations arise, we are able to breathe through them and deal with whatever life brings with ease. To recognize that often things are happening around us and not to us, and know that we always have each other regardless of what life throws at us. And lastly, I've asked them, what are the great influences in your life? He says there are many parents, family, friends, Deepak Chopra. So, and she says she borrows and steals from all the relationships around them. We are very fortunate to be close to many people who have been married for decades, parents, uncles, aunts, and family friends. We are always listening and observing their pearls of wisdom, their anecdotes, their advice, and their blessings. We know that no relationship is perfect, and we don't want to perfect. We find navigation through life, and all it hands you some of the best parts of our relationship. Sello and I are committed to living a joyful and abundant life. Just in summary, in all of the things that I've read, Sello used 340 words. Same questions. Carla, 1,158 words, 3.4 times more. Sello, you know what is coming. So you need to catch up 3 times. Okay, be a sharer. Thank you. That's enough of exposing you in front of all of your family and friends. Let me go on to the sermon part, because I need to share some thoughts with you on this word. I thought much of what does this word actually mean? Because when people get married, they sometimes say, I want to get married for something, And it's always from a position of receiving. I want to receive romance, fulfillment of my dreams, natural comforts. Some people marry because they want to escape single life. There's always this intention of receiving. But wouldn't it be better if marriage is the opposite? It is a marriage of giving, because you're entering into a new way of living. And I would term it, you're entering it into a new way of giving. It's more than just a lifestyle. You're entering into a relationship of giving. And in marriage, wouldn't it be beautiful if you could give to each other 100% of your life, your love of your life, 100% of the time? That's a beautiful marriage. That's the foundation of a successful marriage. And so today the question is posed to you, what do you want to be in this marriage? Do you want to be a giver, or do you want to be a receiver? And the answer is quite clear. We always have this moment where we look for examples of that illustrate what this word means. And we can but only start, because this is the religious, the Christian part of your wedding ceremony. How does God give? Because God is the ultimate giver, you know. God gives without calculation. God gives without conditions. God gives without seeking compensation. God lets the sun shine upon the godly as well as the ungodly. And God does so because He loves us. He gave His Son, as we have learned, Jesus Christ, because He loves the world so much. He gave His only Son, which means He gave His best. And what can we learn out of that? That when we give, that we always give the best of our time, the best of our talents, the best of who we are as human beings. That we don't give to each other that which is left over, the remnants. A wise person once said, we give to the one that we love what is right, not what is left. You get that? Give to each other what is right and not what is left. In other words, not what is left over. What is left over of my time? What is left over of my interests? I give to you the best, just like God gives to me the best. Bring it a little bit closer. Another example of giving was Jesus Christ. He actually started his journey of giving, his life of giving, by turning water into wine. Nogal at a wedding. Did anybody pay for that booze? And then nobody paid for it. Jesus didn't expect him to pay. I wish Jesus was here today. And we didn't have to pay for the wine. But he gave. That's how he is defined. He invited the poor to the feast, to the meal. Because he knew they couldn't pay him back. He knew that they would never be able to invite him for a meal. So he invited the poor. He pardoned the guilty. He healed the sick. He made the lame walk. Not once did he expect them to give anything in return. That's how Jesus gave. And then the ultimate giving of Jesus Christ was he sacrificed himself. For people who blasphemed him, who mocked him, he gave his life to them. He sacrificed himself. So what can we learn from Jesus? Remember, we learn from God, he gives us the best. We therefore give each other the best. And what can we learn from Jesus is that we must sacrifice for each other. You're marrying a woman in a modern time with very modern ideas and very, very outspoken about some of the things. And then you sometimes, people can say, but why must I sacrifice, my life for him or for her? That's not the sacrifice we're talking about. You don't have to lay down your life for this man. But there is a sacrifice that you make. You sacrifice your ego. You sacrifice your stubborn demeanor in favor of peace, reconciliation, seeking solutions. There must be a better way, and not always wanting to be right. That requires sacrifice. Whew. Hectic. Carla was a drama student or something. There's something, the Kaufman conflict triangle. I don't know if you heard of that. In every drama, you need it works like a triangle. So the base of the triangle is at the top, and on the top left-hand corner, you have a perpetrator. At the bottom, you have a victim. And on the other third corner, you have a rescuer. So in any drama, there's always a victim, there's always a perpetrator, and there's always a rescuer. If you don't want drama, don't be a victim. If you don't want drama, don't be a perpetrator, a tyrant, a bully, always wanting to be right. And a rescuer is that person that always feels they need to be needed. They need to find somebody to help, That draws attention and praise, maybe an acknowledgement on them. We don't need a life filled with drama. It's enough your wife works in that. Enough she works in it. No drama in your life. Always seek peace. That's actually what I'm coming to. Always seek peace. Seek a higher, a better path. Always seek a way of getting yourself out of a situation which causes conflict. Don't be any one of those three, and there won't be any drama. And then, lastly, how do we give in marriage? Marriage is not just a convergence of your interests. Some people say, we have a lot of interests. We have common shared interests or something. But interest is a very narrow, very clinical, business-like way of looking at marriage. And there are people. They stay married for a long time because there are interests. They have similar interests. Maybe they love walking together or cycling together or traveling together. But interests have a limited lifespan because you lose interest. And then the interest in the marriage also founders. It dissipates because of that. Your marriage mustn't just be a marriage of interest. It must be something deeper, a deeper love, a deeper way of giving. True love is giving each other the space also to pursue your own interests. That's a higher form of giving, is when I give you the time to fulfill your dreams. I give you the space. I enable you. I capacitate you to become who you have been predestined to become, to fulfill your potential. And that works mutually. And for us as older folkies here amongst you, that's not always what we were taught. Oh, you must listen to your husband and follow him and let go of all your interests. It doesn't work like that anymore. It is more blessed to give her time than to receive, and it's more blessed to give him time. And that could be in pursuit of his own interests. And giving brings you closer together. Giving brings you closer to God. Giving deepens your bond of matrimony. In conclusion, I just want to say, what is giving characterized by? First of all, evidence of giving in a marriage is good communication, truthful communication, unambiguous communication. Carla, you cannot read your mind. Okay, so say what you want to say, and say it so unequivocally, unambiguously. And be transparent, and be open with one another. I know you're working on it, and you're saying that is one of the big things that you've learned. It is a beautiful thing to have in marriage. It's a giving. If people say, okay, so what do you give? I didn't say rings or anything natural. Nothing. You don't need those things. Communication is one of those things that you give. It's evidence of your giving. Tolerance. You didn't marry a perfect wife, neither did you marry a perfect husband. Accepting one another's shortcomings. In fact, that's what makes it interesting, is that you have differences, difference of opinion and differences certainly in your nature and in your character. Making sacrifices. In other words, doing things sometimes with her just because you want to be with your wife. Sacrificing maybe opportunity to lie there and watch a game or whatever you do in your spare time. slowing down the car while you drive. Sacrifice is part of your giving. It's giving up something. Forgiveness is giving. Oh, it's a tough one. But the word forgiveness has give in it for a reason. It's accepting that you can also be wrong. It's accepting that if he or she is wrong, that it's now my role to pick them up. That's part of forgiveness. And not to hold them down. And being able to forget. I don't know who has the best memory, but I know somewhere in the genes God has given to us that women remember a lot of things. And they have a sneaky way of remembering it at the wrong time when you don't want them to remember. Work on it, Carla. Try to forget. Lastly, another way of giving is acknowledgement. Acknowledge that God has blessed you, that God has, and that He doesn't just bless you through Him. Okay, is it the bee? A bee is a good sign. A bee is a bearer of an indicator of good news. A wasp. And then also that God gives to you, acknowledge that God gives to you through your parents, through your friends, through your family. That's also part of God's giving. And then finally, God gives to you through each other because He gave you to each other. May God bless your life of giving. May God bless you. Thank you. Amen. So now I'm going to ask the ring bearer to come forward so that the two of them can exchange rings. First, Sello will give Carla her rings, and then after that, Carla will follow. Sello, you start? Yeah? No? And she... Yeah, go ahead.
Yay! I'll sort you out, Henry.
Well.
Oh, sir.
It's fine. Okay, push.
Yeah. Like we did it. Like we really did it. Am I going first?
Do you want the lyrics?
No problem. You don't have to hear me as long as you hear them. Okay. So Carla, we start like this. I, Carla, Menine, Klassen, recognize you, Sello, Duncan, and Corsi as a gift from God.
I, Carla Menine Klassen, recognize you, Sello Duncan Mkosi, as a gift from God.
And vow before God and this congregation
And vow before God and this congregation
to love and remain faithful to you,
to love and remain faithful to you,
for better or for worse.
for better or for worse.
In our marriage, I will lead my life
In our marriage, I will lead our life
according to the commandments of God.
according to the commandments of God.
Look up to you with esteem and support you,
Look up to you with esteem and support you,
as long as I shall live.
as long as I shall live.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. You may hand the mic.
Testing.
I, Sello Duncan Nkosi, recognize you, Carla Menine Klassen, as a gift from God.
I, Sello Duncan Mkosi, recognize you, Carla Menine Klassen, as a gift from God.
And vow before God and this congregation
And vow before God and this congregation
to love and remain faithful to you,
to love and remain faithful to you,
for better or for worse.
for better or for worse.
In our marriage, I will lead my life
In our marriage, I will lead our life
according to the commandments of God.
according to the commandments of God.
Look up to you with esteem and support you,
Look up to you with esteem and support you,
as long as I shall live.
as long as I shall live.
So help me God.
So help me God. Amen.
Thank you. Sello, hold on to the mic. I believe there's something also you want to share with Carla today.
No, wrong one.
Oh? Oh?
Give me a moment.
Do you want me to hold that for you? There we go. That's the one. You're going to go first.
You wanna go first?
Doesn't matter. Thanks, Henry.
She gonna first.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hi. I vow to love you in thickness and in health, in struggle and in strife. With you, I vow a love that celebrates and honors your big and forgives your small. I vow a love that is kind, patient, warm, and abundant. I vow to always remind you that you are the ocean and commit to creating a life with you that values and honors the present as we work towards our dreams. To you, I vow to create our life moment for moment as we do now, and to never take us or you for granted. I vow to create a safe space for you to grow and change, and commit to always learning you with a childlike curiosity. I vow to nurture your childlike spirit, your silliness, so that we may always laugh together and live a life filled with wonder. I vow to always be your friend, to respect you, to be loyal to you and to this relationship. Sello, to you I vow an infinitely abundant life and marriage, one that is filled with purpose, intention, and a commitment to love, friendship, and family. I vow my hand, my heart, and my soul. I love you.
I vow to love you in thickness and in health, in struggle and in strife. With you, I vow a love that celebrates and honors your big and forgives your small. I vow a love that is kind, patient, warm, and abundant. I vow to always remind you that you are the ocean and commit to creating a life that values and honors the present as we work towards our dreams. To you, I vow to create our life moment for moment as we do now, and to never take us or you for granted. I vow to create a safe space for you to grow and change, and commit to always learning you with a childlike curiosity. I vow to nurture your childlike spirit, your silliness, so that we may always laugh together and live a life filled with wonder. I vow to always be your friend, to respect you, to be loyal to you, and to this relationship. Carla, to you I vow an infinitely abundant life and marriage, one that is filled with purpose, intention, and a commitment of love, friendship, and family. I vow my hand, my heart, and my soul. I love you.
Sigla, come here. Just hold the mic for us, Melisma. Your hands as I see. It was nice. Can you all please rise? Thank you.
Yours under, mine over.
Under.
Under?
Under. Over. I'll now place the blessing upon them. Receive the blessing on the bonds of your matrimony today. In the name of God, the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. God, your Heavenly Father, who has chosen you to become husband and wife, delights in this moment with you. Before you were born, he had already predestined you for each other. We thank him for his love and pray that his love may continue to escort you through life. No matter what circumstances you may face, that you will always be assured that God will be with you. Jesus Christ, who is your Redeemer, who sacrificed his life for you, will always be the shepherd of your souls, the brother in heaven upon whom you can call to guide you, to feed you, to nourish you, to be the example for you throughout your life. And may the Spirit of the Lord dwell in you, that you live in love with one another, always seeking a higher ground, peace, always wanting to understand one another and to serve one another until the day when the Lord takes you home, until the day when you can meet your Savior Jesus Christ. May the blessings of your parents, both those who are living and those who are in the beyond, rest upon you today. And may the blessings of all of those who have united with us here today be upon you. Those who are here physically, but also those who are with you in spirit today. May all of these blessings fill your life with so much joy, and may God bless you, that whatever you have wished for each other, whatever you have vowed to each other, in this very moment, that it may come true. The blessings and the peace of love and the love of God rest upon you. Amen. So, dear Mr. and Mrs. Nkosi, or Klassen Nkosi, or Nkosi Klassen, I announce you now as husband and wife, and dear Sello, you may now kiss your beautiful bride. Okay, please be seated. There's another song to be sung. You will have noticed I put my mask on because in terms of COVID regulations as a minister, I cannot get within 1.5 meters of the couple without wearing a mask. But I'm safe now, even though I love them so much. I have to put on a mask. Thank you. Sorry, you need the mic.
Some people, they call me crazy for falling in love with you. They can take me and lock me away, baby, 'cause there's nothing those walls can do. I'll be your rising moon after the setting sun, just to let you know you'll always have someone. I'll be your clearest day when the rain is done, so you'll always know. Through the shake of an earthquake, I'll never fall. That's how strong my love is. Like a ship through the storm, we can risk it all. That's how strong my love is. I used to feel kind of lonely, 'cause the world, it can be so fake. All that matters, I'm telling you, is you and me only, and the fortress of love we've made. I'll be the water you need in the desert land, just to let you know you'll always have my hand. I'll be the woman you need to be a better man, so you'll always know. Through the shake of an earthquake, I'll never fall. That's how strong my love is. Like a ship through the storm, we can risk it all. That's how strong my love is. Oh, can nothing bring us down? Oh,
Now we're done. We're just going to say a closing prayer. One or two announcements. You must just brief me quickly afterwards what happens. And then the rest of the day is yours. 20 past, 40, 50 minutes. Thank you. Come, let's rise and thank the Lord for this wonderful afternoon. Granny, you didn't have to stand. It's okay. Come, let's thank God. Dear Heavenly Father, we say thank you for the special blessing that you have dispensed upon Carla and Sello here today. We could rejoice with them, dear Lord. We could also learn from this word, it is more blessed to give than to receive. We want your blessings. Therefore, give to us, O Lord, all the possibilities to give, to seek to give, dear Lord, rather than to receive. For we know that you, dear God, love a cheerful giver. And even sometimes when we give, it may hurt us because we give of our best, we give of our last, we give of our first, dear Lord. May it be because we see a higher purpose. We've made a commitment. We want to give to those whom we love. And may, Father, Sello and Carla continue to give to each other of the best that you have given to them. Now we look forward to the rest of the afternoon. We pray that your blessings rest upon everything that had been planned, especially for the light snacks that will be served to us now, that we may enjoy it. It also comes out of your blessings, dear Lord. And grant that your angels' protection continue to remain over us. Please accept our hearts and our prayers here. We ask and pray this of you in Jesus' name. Amen. So thank you very much. Today is not just a day of sitting here in the sun, it's also a day to relax and enjoy yourselves. If you can just sit for 1 minute, or not even for a minute, for a couple of seconds, I just want to check with him. What else now?
Grab confetti, and then after confetti.
Okay. So, what's going to happen now? They're going to sign the register. We'll have to find one. But what you will do is you will grab some confetti, which is on the way out there, maybe a bottle of water, and then meet the couple on the grass. If you can just form like a double line or arch or something so that you can cast your confetti on them, not throw it. And then they will then meet you there. And what the couple would like to have is a group photo, because we are going to start to dissipate after this. So this is the one moment where they have all of us together on the lawn outside there. So just make a double line on the lawn there to meet with the two of them. They will follow. So if you can go ahead, and the bridal couple will see you outside. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless. Thank you very much. And canapes are served after the photo is taken outside. Okay.
Alrighty. Has everyone got a drink? Has everyone got something to eat? Who said no? Why? Someone get her a drink, please. Someone get her a drink. All right. If we can find a comfortable place to stand or sit, we're going to move on with this afternoon's proceedings and move into the next phase of this wedding, which will be speeches. So there might be some emotional speeches. There might be some opportunities for the odd heckle. There might be the opportunity for an anecdote. Guys, if you feel like you're going to start welling up, you're getting emotional, the bathroom is over there. You can head back there, lock yourself in a stall, relieve yourself. Ladies, because I'm inclusive, the bathroom is there as well. It's unisex, so everyone is welcome to go over there if you feel that. I'm just kidding. Cry, be emotional, do what you need to do. To start things off, we have speeches from friends. So It'll be the IFV crew. It'll be Nelson. It'll be Timmy. It'll be T-Man. And they'll have a few words to say. And then following them, we will have the siblings. We'll have Sihle and Cade. And then we'll have a short break. And then we'll have speeches from the parents. So we'll have Auntie Gail and Uncle Gavin. And then Mr. Mkosi will propose a toast. Following that, we will have Sello's speech. Oof. And Carla's speech. And there's just a few announcements I need to make, courtesy of Auntie Gail. She stressed to me yesterday, these guys are flying international, so please, no hugging and kissing them. They can't get COVID now. It's 10 hours on the plane, so they need to be in top form. I think I've already broken that rule myself, so don't be like me. Okay, Nelson.
Hi, how's everyone doing? Sello Carla, out of all the weddings I've been to, this is by far, the most recent one I've been to. When I was asked to give a speech, there was a little bit of a non-disclosure agreement, some rules and regulations of things that couldn't be mentioned, no drinking, no wild nights, no Sello looking down his shirt, just the usual things, you know, there's friends, there's family, we don't want to embarrass you while we're here. The problem is, this left very few stories left to tell. So I decided the best thing to do would be to start at the beginning and how I met Sello. So Timmy and I were friends in school. After school, we never had a lift home. So after school, we'd go around and we'd go up to people and be like, hey, how's it going? Sorry to disturb. At the robot, do you turn left or do you turn right? If they turn left, you move on to the next person. If they say right, you say, oh my God, even me. Do you mind if I get a lift home with you? So this carried on for quite a while until we found out there was a new kid in Cornwall who not only did he turn right at the robot, he lived down the road from us. So we thought, we need to make friends with this guy. So we approached him. Back then was easier, Sello was smaller. Same size, I think, maybe. Not anymore. But yeah, what started with a hidden agenda, 14 years later has blossomed into a friendship, a brotherhood, the brotherhood of traveling brandy. And I'd love to say more, but after meeting Sello, it was all downhill from there. And I've got that NDA. I will add, the irony of the whole thing was 3-4 months later, Sello no longer had a lift home. So now it was the three of us asking that famous question. Hey, how's it going? Sorry to disturb. Do you turn left or right by the robot? Thank you very much.
Hello everyone. So for those of you that don't know, I am Timmy. Sello and I have been friends forever, 14 years. Yeah, obviously with our NDA, there's not much to say in my speech. But I did write a little something, some of the good memories. So my favorite memory, actually it's a very recent memory, happened last week at Sello's birthday party, or not birthday party, just our dinner. We went out for a drink, had some food, and we came to the realization that on this birthday that he had last week, we've actually known each other longer than we have not known each other. 14 years to be exact. To be honest, I've never really seen Sello as a friend. But he's been my brother from day one. The amount of time we've spent together, Sello, Nelson, T, myself, it's crazy. There were times in school and university where we would see each other every single day for months on end. All of my favorite memories include Sello. Just a few of them are our PlayStation marathons that we used to have as kids, the times that our parents used to drive us to Stones when we were underage so that we could go out. I heard Sello and the Goose aren't friends. Yeah? No, it's all good. Yeah, our nights where my mom, Sello's mom, used to drive us to Stone so we could go drinking when we were 16 years old. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. um, I don't know if you guys know this, but Sello was actually the biggest instigator when it comes for a party. I've never met anybody that likes going out for a beer and watching soccer as much as he does every day. We, in university, it was a thing. Hatfield Square. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday ties, Saturday ties, Sunday somewhere else. Ridgebacks, railways. Sello was always there. I'd wake up in the morning, get an SMS. Hey, what are you doing today? Do you have plans? Do you want to watch soccer? I didn't even like soccer back then, but I was like, okay, you're not a bad guy. we ended up going to weird festivals. St. Patrick's Day. Did not know what it was, but I went to 5 of them with him. There were nights where we were sitting at Uncle Fauzi's, which was the restaurant that's open 24/7 at Hatfield Square. We were scrambling together our last change to buy food. It's 4 in the morning, I think. And we're like, oh, Hubblies are on sale for 30 Rand. How much money do we have? 30 Rand. Okay, how much is food? 30 Rand. What do? We bought a Hubbly. All of our travels together, the 3 matric vacations we went on, 4 matric vacations we went on, the countless road trips, you've always been there. Carla, you've also always been there. The last 7 years, we've done the randomest towns. Ermelo was our most recent one. Yeah, I have memories to last a lifetime. I can speak all day about Sello and Carla, but living life with a brother like you by my side has been a pleasure. Carla, you're one lucky lady, because you have him for the rest of your life. I wish you two nothing but the best. Thank you.
So it starts. Hi everyone. As you know, I'm T, and basically, we are the family that sort of helped bring these two together. So I've actually known Sello since primary school, and like, I was always jealous of him because Kirsty would always fetch him after school, and we would still have to stay up for aftercare after. uh, but even I think like the one random fact is that I've actually known each individual person longer than they've known each other. So because my sister went to the same high school as her, as Carla, and that's sort of how we met. So it was always the weekend chills when we would come back home and chill. And then obviously moving on into varsity, so it was actually quite an orchestrated event. These guys are lying to you. so Carla and Pam had met us at Ties. And then Pam was like, oh no, so, Sello likes, Carla likes Sello. I was like, oh, okay, good, no, yeah, we can organize something. So we used to have a lot of chills at my parents' house, and so it had been a lot of planning because, Sello always comes late to a party. Later than I do. And the one evening, it was actually really, really planned. Because I was like, Pam was like, oh no, dude, you must make sure Sello comes today. Because like Carla's coming and like we're going to do this chill. But we're going to sit outside so we can watch and see how the conversation goes. Carla obviously on time as always. She gets there, we chilling, and then I'm phoning Sello. I'm like, dude, where are you? And I'm like, no, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. And you could hear him driving. You could driving the courses still. So he eventually gets to the house, and then he gets out the car, and he's like, "Hey, what's happening, dude?" And like, and I'm like, "She's here." Just hold it, hold it for like half an hour at least. So he gets inside, and like we all, as he comes in, we all like, no, we just want to go see something outside, look at the moon or something. And obviously, yeah, they got the chatting. Listen, I've never heard Carla laugh the way that she did that night, ever. Even I don't like. I know Sello tells jokes, but not like that. I was just like, hi, 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 hi. Yeah. But I think like one of the great things about their relationship, like that I know, is like they literally are like the same person. Like when you speak to Carla, it's like you're speaking to Sello, and when you speak to Sello, it's literally like you're speaking to Carla. And it's just that level of connection that they have. I mean, they've had it throughout their whole relationship, and just it's like, I think like one of the like most fun times is like when you actually go to their house and just chill with them, because you just see their random acts. Like they just do weird things. Like, and it's just nice to interact with them, because they also treat you like you part of their relationship as well. So I wish you guys all the best. I'm even on behalf of my family as well. It's like, and the only thing is, I wish that Kirsty was here to witness this coming together. But yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you, T. I think I can speak on behalf of our side of the family, and I'm going to take the liberty to speak for you guys as well. Matza Bananes, we thank you for your handiwork. Well done. I have neglected my duties, and I would like to give the mic to Didi to do the Didi.
Whew, it's gonna be tricky, you know. Hi, the way, that way. Okay. Hi, everybody. Can I tell you how surreal it feels to be standing here giving a speech at my best friend's wedding? For those of you who don't know, I'm Carla's best friend, and now I'm Carla and Sello's best friend. You know, if you wanted that, sorry, I've taken that title already. I met Carla at the tender age of 11, and I remember watching her and going up to her and saying, "Carla, you're so pompous." And my British accent was a bit heavy at the time. And she said to me, "Dee, what does that even mean?" And I was like, "You're soon gonna find out, girl." How I even knew what that word meant at 11, wild. Little did we know that interaction was the solidifying moment of our 17-year friendship. When Sello started hanging around Carla, I was like, who's the skinny yellow dude? Like, what does he want? And 7 years later, he's still hanging about, and yeah, he's still hanging about, joining in Carla and I's phone calls, pulling us back when we go on a rant, you know, allowing us to just be. I mean, this guy has seen me in my duck, in my bonnet, crusty, tired, and he never bats an eyelid. I've known very good men in my life. I've been very fortunate. My father, my friend, my friends, Uncle Gavin, and Sello, you're a good man. You're a very good man. I appreciate how you've held my friend in tenderness and softness. I love how you love her. Keep doing it, bestie. It's easy for speeches like this to be about advice and whatnot, but we all know Carla and Sello march to the beat of their own drum. So instead, I'm going to tell you about Auntie Gail and Uncle Gavin's youngest daughter. Carla is the type of woman every girl should have in their corner. As girls, she was fearlessly wild and intentionally compassionate. As a woman, she is the epitome of a shining light. I mean, she's lit up my path for the past 17 years. As girls, we discovered ourselves in the pages of Harry Potter. As women, we have embraced our femininity clumsily and always with laughter. I'm proud of the woman that you are, and the friendship we have built. Thank you for holding me when I couldn't carry myself. Thank you for laughing so freely when I failed Afrikaans in grade 11 and got 5 out of 20. You believed in me, girl. Thank you for sharing the class and clan with me, and thank you for being you. I've experienced, without a doubt, one of the greatest love, friendship, and romance I know I will ever have in my life. You're my personal person. Most times I love how fiercely you show up for the people you love. It makes me want to live wildly. Carla and I communicate with our hearts and souls. My soul has felt attached to you from day one. We have swam the deepest waters and waded through shallow storms. You have been more than a companion for the last 17 years. I'm so happy that you have found your calm waters in Sello. May you set sail, my friend. I'll always be right by your side, being spicy, laughing, or crying, because things get tough and it's a hot day. You know, you're a shining star. Auntie Gail and Uncle Gavin, thank you for giving me my best friend. And on behalf of Nancy and Abby in her absence, we have this to say. Sello and Carla, you've made the choice to merge your heart and lives and families and friends. And what a decision to make. As I look at the faces here this afternoon, all I can say is that you are truly held by love, and what a privilege that is. So when tough moments come, because they will, I want you to close your eyes and come right back to this moment and bask. Because that feeling, this moment of love, will always set you free. I love you both.
Thank you, guys. It's always so beautiful to me to hear the stories that other people tell of the people that they love, and how that fills the patchwork of the picture that we have of those people. So I really acknowledge you, and I thank you for your stories, guys. Incredibly beautiful. So next up, we will have some speeches from the siblings. In fact, I'm gonna, rather than let the siblings come and let this goose distract us from the beautiful stories that are about to be told, let's let the goose finish. Because this thing is chowing, guys. My word. Chew, Enna. Yeah. I don't know what it's doing. How must I help it? Not again. Oh, God. All right. We're going to just choose to ignore it. Okay. So to start with, I would like to ask Sihle to come forward to say a few words.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm just gonna skip the formal introductions because we've done that already. But most importantly, good afternoon to Pam. As we all know now, she and the Matsebenanis have been very instrumental in setting up Carla and Sello. So we have been invited here today to celebrate with these two beautiful people. Sello and Carla, thank you for inviting us to celebrate this momentous occasion with you and witness your show of love for one another. I'm happy and grateful to see that you have assembled a diverse group of wonderful people, because this is ultimately the village that will raise your children. Hopefully we don't have to wait 7 years for that. Sello, as my older brother, you have had the responsibility of leading the way, taking on the next stage in life before I get there. I've had the responsibility of choosing what to follow and what not to follow. But you have done a great job in setting a good example for me, and I'm truly thankful for that. Excuse me. A lesson I've learned from you, and I remind myself of often, is perspective. To excuse me. I can recall multiple times when you have said, regardless of what is happening now, everything will work out in the future. And that has put my mind at ease many a times and made me able to focus on what is here and now. One of the examples that I will not be following is your sense of timing. You have missed so many flights because for some reason you plan to go out the night before, knowing full well that you will not wake up to your alarm. And then either you get to the airport too late or you just don't get there at all. Not to mention that we have had to wait as long as we have for you to propose to Carla. And then you did it during a pandemic, but okay. You're really taking your time because you and Carla got together when I was 16 and I'm now 23. So it's been quite a while. Excuse me. Just hold it for a second. Oh, all good, thanks. Carla, thank you for being my big little sister. You never fail to call me out on my nonsense, as you do with Sello and Sello's friends and all the unruly men in your life. But I appreciate you for that, for making your voice heard and showing us what a strong woman you are. I thank you for being the emotional support system for my brother and for taking his hand in life. Together, you two have given me incredible insight into the complexity of relationships, but most importantly, how to navigate the tough times and enjoy the good times. From the periods of time you have spent in different cities, to the choices you have made to support each other in your careers, allowing each other the space to maintain your own groups of friends, and for playing a part in each other's families. The way in which you communicate with each other is amazing to see and something I learn a lot from. I look at you two with admiration and I aspire to create a relationship as strong as yours. My only advice to you is to make sure that happiness is the focus of your life, individually and together. Make decisions based on what will make you happy, even when those decisions are difficult. A life without happiness is not a life worth living. I'm proud of you. I know Dad is proud of you. And I'm sure Mom is proud of you. Both of you. Thank you. No, thanks, man.
I'm going to call on Cade to say a few words.
Yeah, Cecily, yeah, so much emotion. And now I'm feeling really emotional before I start. Ah, okay. Just give me one moment. So, unlike your friends, I didn't sign an NDA. So I want to just start off and sort of tell you how I met Sello, or my first interaction with the new bra in the family. So I remember myself and Adele, we were coming home one day from, I don't know where we were coming home from. Oh, we're coming back from somewhere. And we saw a car just parked outside of the gate. And I'm wondering, what the heck is going on? And I'm like, and then I don't know if you've been to our house, but there's a security light just outside. It's so bright. Like, I swear to God, you're going to the next life when you see it. And this light just went on, bah! And then next thing you see shadows moving, and I'm like, whoa! And then I looked at my wife, and I said, and we just started laughing because it was sort of like a synchronicity. Same thing happened to me. It's just that my parents got with me in the same place. So I hadn't officially met you then that day, but then you were at the house. You came often, more and more. I saw this guy, tall, he's big, like this Brad Jones. I see you. Nah, cool. Strong jawline. I'm like, yeah, I know this guy. Okay. If he walks into a room, people are gonna just stare at him and be like in awe of him. I just knew it. And I don't mean that in a negative way, in a very positive way. And there's a reason why I say that. So today for me, when I was sort of watching and seeing this unfold, you know, myself and Adele, we looked at Sello and Carla, and we saw that relationship for the last 7 years. Around maybe year 3 or 4, we were just looking at them and we're like, so like, when are you gonna just like do it already, you know? So for me today is for me, in my mind's eye, from my perspective, you guys have been unified spiritually in your hearts and your souls. And to be very, very honest, when I obviously Colin knew at some point that you were the one, it's actually quite true for me as well. I remember a similar feeling when Adele told me something like, I told her I adore you. And I had this similar sort of feeling going back into my stomach. Now, I'm not saying I'm in love with you like that, but it was a very similar feeling. It was a feeling of calmness that came over me. I can't explain it to you, but the word that kept popping into my mind when that happened was steadfastness. Dude, you are unwaveringly loyal to my sister. Unwavering. It is. It's if you had to take, I guess, you know, the topic about like toxic masculinity and you know how males should be and everything like that. I mean, that word should be in that definition. And you guys are right. And this is a proper man. Proper stuff. And I thank you for giving that unwavering loyalty to my sister. And for that, I'm not unconfident that this relationship is meant to be. Oh, what am I saying? It's meant to be. It's meant to be. So for me, I've always wondered what it's like maybe to have a younger brother. And I feel that with you, to be very honest. And you know I don't lie. You've spoken to me. I honestly feel that in my heart. And may that long continue and grow and develop and evolve to whatever it may be between me and you. And may what you have with my sister also evolve and change and grow for the better. And yeah, I love you, man. Yeah. I need to say something about my sister. So for those that don't know, me and my sister are very, very close, and we share a very, very deep bond. I know that during this pandemic and obviously as we're growing into adults and you have your own thing and I have my own thing, we don't always speak much and things like that. But Sello, one thing that Carla, when we get together, she talks about you, you know? And what she says about you and how you make her feel is that this is one thing I know. In my family, we're very, very emotional. Decisions that we make, things we say, yes, like it's like it's, I don't know why, but we all like that. And you spent enough time with us to know that. but whenever she speaks about your relationship and things like that, and it I just see a lot of joy in her face, and for that I'm eternally thankful and grateful. And for Carla, I think I can say I'm just extremely proud of you and really excited, and I love you so much. And yeah, for you, this is right. It feels extremely right, and I can tell in your face, and I've known you for a very long time, that I can see, and I knew you and you a long time ago as well. So yeah, I wish you to all the best, and yeah, if I can maybe just part with a little bit of advice, and I didn't want to really give it. The one thing that I can say to you is whatever ever happens, that communication that you guys have between each other, never ever stop doing that. Whether there's a disagreement, an argument, I think Cliffy said it quite well. Um, it doesn't. What I'm going to add on to that is, you don't always have to be right in that argument, and also be careful with your words. Be responsible with your words with each other, because your words mean something, and it will mean more to each other now than ever. Because you've made this commitment and you've made this unification. And all I can say is, if you do that, and at the end, even if it's a big fight or it's a debate or whatever, it's a disagreement, so long as you're holding each other's hands at the end of that, or you cuddling, snuggling, talking on the toilet to each other, whatever you're doing, doesn't matter. Always maintain that. It doesn't, like your brother said, the future is, it's a matter of perspective, you know. Things are always gonna get better. Things are always gonna change. But so long as you guys have each other and you're together, then you can't lose, man. Simple as that. Cool.
Thanks, guys. Sure. Something that's almost a common thread that seems to be drawn between the various speeches that have been given so far is almost what a formality this is, and how we've almost known for, I don't know, 5 years now or something. How long have we been? Forever. A lifetime, that we were going to find ourselves here in our finery on this afternoon celebrating your union. And I think giving people the opportunity to express what that means for them, and the gift that your lives are for all of us, is something that we don't get to do very often. And to see what it meant for Kate, for Sihle, Tisetso, Timmy, Nelson, Didi, to share from the depths of their heart what this afternoon and who you are for them means to them, was really moving. So thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Now, we're going to have an opportunity for a short break, 5 minutes. If you want to recharge your glasses, get something to eat, now's the opportunity to do that. And then when we come back, we'll have some speeches from the parents, and Auntie Gail and Uncle Gavin. No, not Auntie Gail. Okay, not Auntie Gail. Uncle Gavin will have something to say, and Mr. Mkosi will propose the toast. Following that, Sello and Carla will have their respective speeches. So 5 minutes, let's go. Alrighty. Has everyone got a drink? A glass of champagne? There's a tower, an actual tower of champagne in the drinks area. If you haven't got a glass of champagne, please go and get one. If you don't drink champagne, that's too bad for you. And once you've got your glass, please make your way back to your seat. Find a comfortable place to stand if you don't have a place to sit. Can we start to make our way out back to the seating area? I'm going to start calling you by name. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. Just another announcement. Those small umbrellas that you have belong to the venue. You can't take them home. That's a genuine announcement. That's not a joke. All right. Are we ready for the next round of speeches? Okay. I'm going to call on Carla's father, Uncle Gavin to some, Gavin to others, to say a few words. Let me hold your drink for you.
This way, in the sun. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Carla's dad, so I can't say a few words. That's in the family, and I have to say a few words that included Auntie Gail's feelings and sentiments as well. So it's a double speech then. So yeah, they made me so conscious of how many words we're saying in our speeches. I counted mine, 1,463. But I'll cut through it. You know, there's some stuff. Yeah. So again, welcome to everyone, family, friends, ladies and gentlemen. And if I didn't say hello to you earlier, then welcome again. It's my pleasure to welcome you. And like everybody said, such a glorious, momentous occasion. In Carla and Sello's life. Um, we feel privileged that you all are here and to celebrate this day with us, with our beautiful daughter and the handsome Sello. So I know some of you have traveled a long time, a long way from Cape Town especially. So thanks for that sacrifice as well. It's really appreciated, and it really demonstrates how much you mean, she means, and the family means to us. Yeah, so today is a day of celebration. I was thinking, while trying to write a speech, and I'm not very good at writing speeches. I'm normally kind of off the cuff type of person. It's been 17, 18 months of, just sad news and, depression and pandemic. But today, we don't want to talk about that. So it's celebratory, it's happiness, it's a festive occasion. We want to switch on the good feelings and just be happy and joyful. So where do I start? I suppose with my daughter, Carla. And she's obviously my only daughter, so I only have one chance to have a father of the bride speech. And that is today, so I must take my time. I think there's still 1,000 words left, eh? So obviously you do spend quite a bit of time, thinking, what should you say when this moment arrive? What do you say about your daughter? And I mean, there's volumes to talk about. In fact, I was telling Milan about how Carl used to cry as a baby. And I mean, I can go on forever. And I do have a elephant memory for those kind of things. And I'm also, if I understand my wife quite well and our friends, I do have the knack of saying the wrong things at the wrong time. So I'm quite good at that as well. So no, I'm not going to embarrass her today. So yeah, Carla's got many attributes. Obviously, you look stunning today, girl. Beautiful. And that's one of her attributes. So I'm sure everybody agrees with that. But she's been a wonderful daughter. She's a very loyal person. She's very dependable. She's fun. She's loving. She's friendly. Highly intelligent, etc. and etc. And she knows how to put on an act as well, eh? Yes, that was the next point. And of course, all those genes come from her father. No doubt about that. No, not quite. I know. I mean, Gail and I was like one year ahead. I was one year ahead of her at school, and I know she was a very bright student. The marks were better than my marks, I promise you. But today, I'm the smart one. I caught up. But I'm sure those. A lot of those beautiful attributes she got from her mom. I've got no doubt about that. I'm always told I'm a bit rough around the edges. I say some things, and where Carla has got those soft-natured and know how to put things in words. how to phrase it correctly. Whereas when it comes to me, it splits out a bit in a different way. So definitely those attributes from my mom. And Carla was never, I thought about her and all the activity going on the last year and so on. She was never a high maintenance child or daughter. That was a great attribute of her as well. Always been reasonably satisfied with what she had, never desired after exotic and expensive things. Was content with all she had, with those hand-me-down clothes, take and wear her dad's clothes, and she still steals my clothes. Even wore her grandfather's clothes. Quite an attribute, Pa Frankie's clothes that she wore. In that way, I think she's very grounded, and probably Sello, you know that already. Very content, very sensible person to talk to, sincere, truthful, honest, appreciative, and a very thankful girl as well. Yeah. Let me take a break. She never takes things for granted. Absolutely not. But that was obviously, everything before the wedding started. No, I'm just joking. Not quite. Carla always aspired, like a brother, they always try to be independent, self-sufficient, and I quite admire that attribute from both of them. They try to be really independent. She sacrificed a lot. She is our perfect daughter, a perfect young lady with all her perfect imperfections, like the song says. But we are proud to have her as our daughter, and I'm sure Sello will also be proud to have her as a wife. Other attributes that I admire of Carla is her empathy, her ability to listen, always understand people, and she understands people's behaviors, and she would explain to us, don't get upset, don't offend, this person is only trying to express their feelings like that. In that way, she was, for me, as a father, very emotionally mature from a very young age, and I'm sure. Yeah. Look, I mean, she like, for example, the wedding arrangements does get to, it is stressful. If I say emotionally mature, she knows what to say at the right time, what words to convey. I've seen older people confiding in her and telling her things, and she would give advice, and I thought, okay, but you're only like 13 years old. How can you give advice to an older person, But she did it, she's very empathetic. She is, emotionally, she's got a good emotional quotient, as they say it. But as parents, there's a lot we can say, but I just want to wish her the best that life has to offer. To experience happiness, joy, great health, and a very, very prosperous future with your husband. Thank you, Nani. I probably have to say a couple of words about the groom as well, eh? So I think at this point he's probably, quite nervous, but traditionally we have to say something about your future or your son-in-law. So I've compiled quite a list, Sello. But now I can't figure out what I said. So, now, Sello, I'm not going to embarrass anyone today. So sometimes you wonder as a parent, who's your child going to marry? What type of husband will it be? Will they look after your daughter? And general other things you're concerned about your children, what careers they will choose. But specifically, the partner they choose in life. And Carla has picked the partner. And I think, and everybody said it before, I think the main thing you worry about is that care and that love that your daughter will experience. But now I need to go back to where this thing started. Sello came to me and he said he wanted to speak to me. He was so nervous, I've never seen Sello so nervous. He came to me in the study, I was just working there, and of course, asked for Carla's hand in marriage. When I saw Sello, it was a dead giveaway, and it was so obvious. And then we went to the kitchen, he had to go ask Auntie Gail, his mother-in-law, and Sello never had a chance, Before he wanted to ask, Gail already gushed it out, and that was it. Sello just had to say yes. I'm asking, typical Gail style. So yeah, and that was the start of all the planning. I'm sure they probably planned it much longer than that. And I think this is quite the person that we know Sello to be, such a respectful young man, from the time I met him. Never have I seen Sello upset or not saying, if you ask him to do something, no matter how small the chore is, he's always ready and helpful. And I think, Cade was up here just now. I think Cade, and Adele, also have accepted him a long time ago as a friend, but as a brother, and Cade confirmed that earlier as well. So Carla's conduct was also very obvious that day. I don't know how well you know Carla in her habits and her body language. Even though she's an actress, we know her body language quite well. We know when she wants something. We know when something bothers her. We know when she's nervous. I know Carla from a mile away. And that day was no exception. We knew Sello was onto something, So it was, But I mean, we were so content. We were happy when Sello asked. I was happy. Like I said, very respectful. And it's obvious to me that Sello came from a very loving, respectful family where virtues were taught. We met, and we knew his mom. I knew his mom for a short while. And you can see those qualities in Sello as well. So my only request, Sello, is for you. Take a break. Time out. Is to look after our daughter, take care of her, and treat her with the respect that you already do. That's all. So now comes my free bits. What do you say to a couple, that's so close to you? What kind of advice do you give? And I think I do say a lot of things, but just a few points I want to say to them, just for them to take on their part of life, is to base your life on values and not material things. But I think you do already. Strive for success and always set goals for yourself. Life is about choices. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You are going to make it. But your choices has to be to take you forward in life. You're going to make mistakes, and you're going to become better at making decisions. So don't be scared of making decisions. And this is one, it's very close to me as well. Don't let other people define you. Don't listen to those who want to put limitations on you, curb you and tell you what your abilities are. You decide your own path and your goals collectively and as a couple. Collectively as a couple and on your individual aspiration. And just, for me, this is also an important one. They're all important to me, so I hope it's important to you. Surround yourself with people that add and enhance your life. Stay away from negative people, bitter, unambitious people will hollow out your soul. Like the old saying goes, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. And what was there? Stick to every commitment and promise you make, however small it might be. And I think you guys already demonstrated that. Be true to yourself. Such virtues will define you and make you a better person. However, be prepared for all the seasons in life. They will come. You'll need to be strong. You need to be resilient. But stay ambitious and celebrate the good times. I think somebody mentioned that already. And successes in life. Celebrate them. And finally, and I always say this, I firmly believe that nobody else can make you happy in life. Okay. Decide to be happy and be positive about life and practice this every day. It works. And lastly, on a more lighter note, and I think somebody did say it at the end there. They say there's a great philosopher who said, a man who gives in when he is wrong is a very wise man. But a man who gives in when he is right is married. And I'm sure Dr. De Blanche can give you a lot of those anecdotal quotes. So Sello and Carla, So Sello and Carla, finally, Mom and I wish you a blessed, happy, joyful, and a wonderful, long life journey together, filled with abundance of love. May you be blessed in all facets of your life. Congratulations to both of you. This one.
Thank you, Uncle Gavin. That was a very beautiful speech. and I'm glad you made it through. Okay. Next, we'll have a few words from my uncle, Malume, Sello Mkhosi. It's your time to shine. It's your time to propose a toast to the couple on their wedding day. Can I just say this suit jacket is amazing.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I've also had to, prepare some notes. Normally, people hold the mic for me from where I come from. No, and thank you very much for that. It is an honor. But also, I think, apart from people holding the mic for me, I do not normally make speeches. I do speak, which is a difference. In Xhosa, we don't do speeches, we speak. You stand up and be afforded the opportunity to say a few words. I think the first thing to say it is, of course, thanks to your family, the Classens, in their entirety. And it's been really a great honor and a great privilege to have you in our midst. And we hope, and very interestingly, I will use we because Amaxhosa do not speak as individuals. We hope to, at some point, to receive and welcome your daughter in the formal sense, in a customary sense, into our fold. And by implications, yourselves as well. And the next aspect is basically to thank all of those of us who have made it to this occasion. I'm fully alive to the fact that many could not make it because of COVID, and it has been a difficult period and so on. There would have been probably hundreds here, knowing Carla being a superstar from Hollywood. Therefore, we need to appreciate the fact that those of us who had been given the opportunity to be here are very fortunate. And maybe let me have talk to my son. Sello, where do I start? I also need to tell, because I think most of the people who are here only know you from Irene Farm Village. And most of the people who are here would only know you from Cornwall, whatever college. But Sello, you are not from where they know you from. And that's very important. You are born, and you need to listen very carefully on that one, because you are born of a semi-illiterate father. My own father, when I got married, I've just confirmed with Mami Rendal, I don't recall my dad giving a speech when I got married. Primarily because of his level of education. He could not. The only language he could speak, other than Xhosa, was Afrikaans. Very interestingly. And in fact, that's what earned him. That's what earned your grandfather from the maternal side. From the paternal side, From the maternal side, he was an engineer. I must emphasize that. A very practical man. And tall as you are. Daddy Randall, very forthright. I remember him very well. I can see him vividly. But your grandfather, who is my father, that Afrikaans earned him the privilege of becoming the general worker at the University of Stellenbosch. So when I say, similarly to Steve Jobs, I have been to the University of Stellenbosch many a times before. I went there, first of all, more as a son of this general worker, laborer, walking around the gardens of that big institution. People need to know who you are and where you come from, that you do not come from Irene Farm Village. And I need to come to a point where you are as a child, Sello. I remember you. The first time I noticed you, interestingly, you were about 3 years old. That was the first time. I kind of made sense that you are around. There was Sello following Nomtunzi up and down in Crossroads. At that time, it was your own uncle going to the mountain and coming back. Your own uncle. So, and it's very important that you have walked and lived and played with the children of Crossroads. Not only the children from the fancy estate. Now you have very clever, very educated, very well off friends. But you need to tell them that you have walked the streets of Crossroads without fear. I can recall when we even buried my own mother, you were sitting there on the pavement with the people of Crossroads, and they were referring, Sello, Sello, everyone knows. And I can't speak. Your mother, Nomtunzi, was just there, up and down, without fear. And times, your mother and yourself would take you to Crossroads without even my own knowledge, because I have been very protective of my family. I've been protective of you, very. Jealously guarded you, because I know how unpredictable the township is. I do not glorify the fact that I am from the dusty streets of Kukuletu. I am from the dusty streets of Kayamnandi, where I was born, which is just a stone throw away from the University of Stellenbosch. There's an interesting relationship there. And, well, of course, I would not say it. I do not know how to say it. But all along, they will not understand what do I mean. I think the other most important part about the beer, I heard some of your friends referring to you, to your drinking and the NDA story. You surprised me when, because I don't have an NDA, you understand that. I'll come to that. Why? Because I have lately become the law unto myself. And I'll tell you how I rose and got myself into that unfortunate situation. But we were actually, interestingly, Carla, in Gaborone, in Botswana, visiting my cousin there for a weekend. And Sello was seated around there, And at that time, Gavin, we were just neighbors to Ian Hammer. That's where my cousin lived. Of course, he was an expatriate like you in Botswana at the time, representing Shell Botswana. And you, at your 3 to 5, I think you were about 5, and you went and grabbed a beer and drank it. I was so shocked. Uncle Trevor, I could not believe. I slapped him for the first time. Don't touch this thing. That was his first taste of beer at 5. Interesting. Now you are no longer the kid, the child that I'm referring to, but the son. The first time I remember jogging around Randabosch Common, I used to jog in my time. I had a figure. Uncle Trevor would say, no, you have a figure even if you're around. But I had a figure back then. And I was a bodybuilder. So I was jogging with Sello. And all of a sudden, Carla, I looked at him. It's the two of us, you know, in that Randabosch Common. It's the two of us. I'm watching him with all smiles. And I think he could not understand why I'm smiling. And for me, it was a wow moment. Ooh, I've got a son that can jog and can jog with me, you know. So I knew that I was actually growing at that time myself, you know. And now, yeah, you became a man. A man in our custom means you go to the mountain, come back. It's basically a transitionary stage. We elevate you from being a child and so on. And you have done that. And I'm proud of the two of you. You withstood what no normal man can withstand. I don't care who that is. What you withstood. No, it was all nice out there. Very pleasurable. I'm sure you can attest to that. But you withstood and came back. And it was only when we landed at Lanzeria Airport that my Inonge is here, my tears flowed down. And when my tears went down, it's because I said, I've done it. They've done it. We're back home. We're back home. Because we went, it was an unpredictable situation. There were many people who said, no, don't take children to that process. And I said, it's not about me. It is about them. Because tomorrow, even if I'm not alive, I want them to know who they are. You should never be confused. You are not white as you appear. Nguluv. It is very important to know your identity. And interestingly, about the story of Uncl'es, the Xhosa language, in any case, Carla, you would find comfort at this, that it is the concoction or the mixture of two dialects. And it shows then how the tribes in and around South Africa were nomadic and ended up finding each other. Because the comes from the San people and nowhere else. That's where we learned it. Amaxhosa are a mixture of those two, the Nguni and the San. Hence, I have a handsome son. You can see the features even in me. In my time, I used to be, you know. So, but it is very important for you to know who you are. Identity is very important. And Auntie Gail, it is very important what I have just said, that at some point we'll have to welcome you. This, to us, is the beginning of the journey. Back in the years when my parents got married, they had what they call the white wedding, ukumisa izikolo. Hmm? Now, the white wedding described this particular type of ceremony as the first phase. And then the second phase would have been the customary act, because we are people of witnesses. We do not do things in corners. We do not do things only in signing contracts at the back. No wonder your mother, Unumtunzi, in fact, she was more closer than I am, and sometimes more black than I am. And in fact, she would prefer, when I preferred preferred a weekend away, your mother, Silo and Sihle, would always say, oh, let's go camping. I would say, no. Now I still want to sit in that room and watch TV and all of that. And Kirsty would say, no, that's not a weekend away. We need to go camping. So she was more African than I am. And in fact, she find it easy to navigate herself, even without myself at most times, in Guguletu, and also I used to cringe. But I was lucky, because Silo, in our makeup, we are not makeup as individuals. We are makeup because of ourselves and the communities that surround us. I have been a product of two parents, sets of parents. I have been a product of Mami Rendal and Daddy Rendal, as well as my parents. Without them, I think they grew me up. They, I remember even when I left Shell, Daddy Rendal brought me Bible and he signed it. That, look, you need to read Bible in order to move forward with your career. You remember, I still have that Bible. In fact, if you walk into my bedroom, that Bible is still covered by, in fact, was covered by Daddy Rendal himself. In any case, I'm beginning to show you now, or train you. You don't say Sicelo anymore. That freedom is gone. You call Daddy Rendal. Daddy Sicelo, I don't know. I must still work it out to accommodate you. Don't be jealous, and and Glennis. But I think what is important, I'm really very thankful, Silo, of what you have become. But you need to learn that, and I think most importantly for me was that what has been said by your in-laws, by your father-in-law in particular here, and so on, and your brother-in-law, I'll come to that. But what has been said by them, don't walk away from your wife, be present. I am proud and still also said that at least I can say that irrespective of who am I, my wife died in my own hands, your mother. I saw her going. I was not called. No, I was not called. I was married until we were separated by death. You do that. Don't embarrass me. You do that. You do that. Don't change from that. Carla, it's been a pleasure to know you. I've enjoyed the time. At some point, Auntie Gail and Kevin, I was a bit skelem. I pretended that she's my daughter because she looks so cute like my daughter. You see, when they are so envious of having a daughter and not having one, I actually kind of, but people quickly picked it up. No, that's it's verkeerd what he is. Yeah. When I speak Afrikaans, you must know that part of my dad comes back. Ekanda Afrikaans praat, ne? Especially after a couple of those things. Yeah. Yeah. And she's naughty in giving me that tea with lots of sugar. But Carla, I just need to say, look, I'm equally, it's not you. It's your parents. It's your brother. It's your family that puts me in comfort. When my wife passed away, I became a realist, especially about the time frame that death is there for all of us. It is real, and there is no comeback. I told Inonge, by the way, Inonge is a doctor, and a big doctor from the University of Pretoria. And she worked with Kirsty a lot. And she Africanized Kirsty further. Yeah, Kirsty was admired in Crossroads, because in Crossroads, I'll be very upright. They only appreciate with women with real legs. You see, so if you are skinny, you are not a Xhosa wife. So it's important. You fit the bill. You will walk with dignity. But I must say, I'm grateful to have you, because it's not you. I receive what the community that has made you. Your uncles, those are the people, and don't shy away. We won't be meddling in your affairs. We don't want to know. But seek counsel, man, when the time is right. So, as I said to you that I'm a realist, I know that, look, I may not have long time, it has taken me years to even accept that my own wife is not coming back. I told Inonge the other day that it took me at least 4.5 years to accept that, this woman is definitely. In fact, the first year, I was even suspicious that it is her that was actually cremated. I had my conspiracy theory. I said, something there. But yeah, everyone is saying, no, she's been cremated, but I couldn't believe it. But that's me, I hope you do not take, you should live with your wife forever, man. However, let me go. Am I still going to propose the toast? Is that the brief? That's the idea, yeah. Is that there's a brief to that? Oh, okay. But I think what is more important before I move to the toast, as Auntie Gail would know and Gavin would know, and I think I have expressed my desire to have the opportunity to welcome you into our fold, so that you know that when we say ungumfazi wasemandlovini, we do not mean anything else. I hope you will be there. In fact, the nice thing is that this time round, I will not be taking you, Dr. Terblanche. I mean, I know you are problematic, but let me say this. When I invite you to welcome her, exactly, I will not be bringing you to Crossroads. You are coming into a posh environment at Irene Farm Village. But at some point, I want to give you the history, and you need to go even to what we know as the Transkei, which is the northern part of the Eastern Cape, so that you can see the roots. I'm proud of you. You are the first daughter-in-law, and hopefully I'll get another daughter-in-law, but that one will make me hungry because she's a vegan. But we'll talk about that, because I love Dr. Ted Blanche. At least Auntie Glenys cooks that nice meat for me. And, People, I try to stay in figure, but she's, at least there's a balance in this family. There's one that will pump me with veggie when I need it, and one that will give me the meat when I need it, and enjoy the pub. Okay, lastly, I hope you are all holding your glasses. Before I leave the podium and take the seat, I have one more last task to perform, as it has been indicated, that it is an honor and a privilege to do. You have your glasses that, ladies and gentlemen, raise. Where's my glass? You know what, ne? You know what, ne? He is my first China I got to enjoy. And yeah, we have had our moments. And Vivek, I don't mean to be ugly to you, but I've enjoyed him more than you. Oh, and my other favorite, there she laughs next to Vivek. I remember having to decide the name, and I threw my 2 cents worth. But I think the name of Emma came afterwards. But there were a couple of names that were bandied around. So I have had the privilege of giving particular honors in my time. And now I've got an honor to even welcome a daughter-in-law. Now, Silo, let me tell you this, they didn't tell you. You've got a father-in-law, you've got a mother-in-law, you've got a brother-in-law, and all the in-laws. And guess what? Huh? You've got the law on your side. That's why I'm the law unto myself, because my wife left me. Do you understand what I mean? So I usurp that role through that coup d'etat. But when you've got the law, and this law, it's real. Let me tell you that they did not say it, And listen to that law, because that's government. In the township, we call it government. That's government. When people do not want to come and grace you in some schedule, going out and so on, they will say, hey, government is tight. Government is telling me not to go. Hey, man, hey, okay, I'll try and talk to government. So this is the law. Never say I never said it. Yeah, you've got the law next to you. And in Maldives, behave. Because the law will be on your case. We will not be there. That's the point. Let's raise our glasses. Sorry, I was buying time for my glasses. And then join me in wishing the newlyweds a long, healthy, and a very happy future. To Carla and Sello.
So say Okay, cool. I'll let him know. Yeah. All right, kings and queens, we're ready for our final stretch for the evening. Are you alive? Are you full? Are you happy? Are you healthy? Oh. Okay, wonderful. So we have our final round of speeches, and then we've got a first dance, and then a daddy-daughter dance, and then there will be a bouquet throwing. And a what? Garter. As far as I know, that's a thing that holds up your socks. Anyway, I would like to call up my dad, Alistair, to say a few words. Brace yourselves.
Thanks, everybody. It's wonderful to be here this evening. And it's great to have the opportunity to, well, maybe provide a bit of the DNA from Sello's maternal side, the Rendels. And you heard some stories a little bit earlier on from Sello and how his clan came to be and contributed to Sello, that part of Sello's DNA. And since you'll never hear it again, I might as well tell you a little bit about the Rendel side of things. Okay, so Rendel is actually from we're from Norway originally. Yep, and we came across like those. So don't mess with us. We're quite a ferocious bunch. Okay, we came across the sea from Norway, invaded the north of the United Kingdom, and there's a little town called Rendel. It has a post office and about 3 houses. And you can go and visit if you like, but it's called Rendel. And Rendel means Valley of Reindeer. So Rendal, okay? And so that's where my dad's name came from, Francis. So yeah, we're a combination of the Norwegians who came in from the north of Scotland, and then the Celts, who my mom still represents. So the Celts are the Scots, the Vikings, yeah. The Scots and the Irish are the Celts, and they spoke Gaelic back in the day. There's very few people who still speak Gaelic, but my mom knows a few words, so if you want to get her in a corner, she'll regale you a little bit. So what's unusual about our family is, as my dad used to say, and very proudly, he's really a rainbow family. And that started even with my mom and dad. So the Scots and the English, I don't know if you know it, but they don't particularly like one another, okay? They just live on the same island, near one another, but yeah, that's about it. Any rugby match, anything like that, they'll kind of go for one another as much as they possibly can. So my mom and dad met on board ship. Coming out, my mom was on her way to South Africa to visit relatives. My dad was on his way out to South Africa. He had been given a job in what was then Southern Rhodesia. He was an engineer, electrical and mechanical engineer. And he was on his way to take up a job, having also worked for a couple of years in Ghana and Nigeria back in the day, in the 50s. So that was a pretty adventurous guy, because things were pretty rough in Africa at those times. And so they, after Las Palmas, so it was about a few days out from the UK. My mom and dad met playing table tennis on board ship. They got to Cape Town. He proposed. She accepted. 10 days, guys. 10 days. It's okay, Sello. You know that Geeta and I took 10 years, so yeah, relax. And so that was an amazing shipboard romance. They then got married a few months later. My dad was, as I said, on his way to take up a job in what was then Salisbury, now Harare. And my mom joined there. That's where I was born, and that's where Kirsty was born, my beloved sister, who's not with us this evening, a year after I was born. And then our middle brother, Patrick, who's also not with us any longer, was born 4 years later. He was born actually in Bulawayo, because my dad was transferred from Salisbury to Bulawayo, lived there for 3 years. My mom has an aunt who has a farm in the Matopus in Zimbabwe, so I spent a lot of my days on the farm. It was a dairy and cattle farm in the Matopus in Zimbabwe, so I have a great love for that part of the world and great sorrow for the way things are there now. And then, then we were transferred to Durban. I spent 5 years in Durban, so I started my primary school there. And then my dad was transferred again up to Johannesburg. That's where I went to high school and first year's university, and Kirsty did the same. So we were both at Wits a year after one another. So that's where I met my wife Geeta, and that's also where Kirsty met her best friend Felicity, it's great that you're here with us this evening. Yeah, so that was 78, 79. And then and Kirsty and Gita met one another at that part of that, more or less that time as well. Gita and I then traveled the world. When we're both architects, by the way. Well, we were becoming architects then, we are now. And we traveled the world and worked for 2 years in India. And Kirsty and some friends actually came and visited us for a couple of months in India, and we traveled together back in 1982. Yeah. Then we got back to South Africa, the 80s, the activists of the 80s. Kirsty and by that time, Gita and myself had moved to Cape Town. Kirsty decided to follow us, so there were the three of us. We shared a house together. And Gita and Kirsty were involved in the United Women's Congress, which was basically the ANC underground women's organization at the time. And that's where Kirsty met Sello. In the townships. I don't know exactly when or exactly how it happened. We haven't actually ever heard that detail. But it happened. And Gita and Kirsty were together in that space there while I was busy doing other kind of activism with housing and things, us being architects. So Gita and I were married in 1990. And Duncan, yeah, yes, sorry, Duncan joined us in Cape Town as well. So we managed to get Duncan down to Cape Town. partly because no, he wasn't. So guess which stop do you think he was born in? He's a banana boy. And Lisa, his wife, is also from Durban, yeah, as it happens. But Dun came down to Cape Town because I persuaded him that doing architecture in Cape Town was a better idea than doing it in Johannesburg. So he's also an architect, and so is Lisa. So kind of boring, but anyway. So Gita and I were married in 1990, and we happened to Mandela happened to choose that day to come out of prison. So we were married the day he came out of prison. My dad was very quick on the draw. He said, well, on this day, after 27 years, one man gains his freedom and another one gives it up. 31 years, I'm still here. Longer than the 27 years. Anyway, and then Kirsty and Sello were married in 92. Duncan and Lisa were married in 97. I'm going to tell a little secret here. We think that our oldest son was conceived that night. But, that's it. Maybe a little TMI, but anyway. So, Sello, as you all know, well, you should know anyway, is the oldest grandchild of my mom. Then came Sihle, then Milan, then Alex. Finally, we had a girl in the house, and then Vivek, and then Emma. So there's 6 grandchildren of my mom and dad. And that was my dad's proud rainbow family, as he kept on saying. So, on to the people of the day. Sello, as the oldest cousin, as the first grandchild, you've always had a very, very special place for all of us. I know my mom just loves having you around, and we just look to you all the time for what's Sello doing now, and how's he doing, and all of that. And obviously that was put into sharp perspective, when your mom got sick. And I just remember the day, Carlo, when I first met you, and it was love at first meet, I have to say. I don't know if you remember, but it was a school event, camp, what is it called? Cornwall Hill School. There was, I don't know, a fair or something like that. And this was early in 2015. And my sister, Kirsty, had been battling her cancer for 5 years by that, nearly 5 years by that stage. And she said, no, you must come up. I made a point of trying to get up from Cape Town as often as I possibly could to see her and spend time with her and so forth. And I managed to come that weekend when that fair was on, and she said, right, you're going to meet somebody today. And Carla came, and we had a chat on the field sitting there, and it was absolutely wonderful meeting you. And it's just been onwards and upwards since then. Carla, it's wonderful having you in the family. Welcome. And I'm sure you're going to have many, many good times. You've got many homes to go to in Cape Town, but I'd always like to think that ours is one of them, and that Duncan and Lisa's also is always there for you. Okay. And I just want you to know that, both then and when Kirsty came down to Cape Town later that year, she just was so, so happy that her big boy had such a beautiful person in his life. And I think she was pretty sure that this was going to work out. You guys took your time, as everyone has said, but anyway. Yeah. I just remember last year when you called to let us know that you got engaged. I immediately burst into tears. I don't know if you saw it, but I happened to have been lying in bed at the time, and you just held up your ring and just tears. It's so wonderful. We're really, really, really happy for you, and thanks for creating this wonderful event for all of us. It's really wonderful. So, welcome to this side of the family, the Rendell clan. All 7 of us. We're all here tonight. That's who all there are on the planet. But there's no one else. Okay. And then we have the additions of Gita and Lisa, obviously, who are the in-laws, or the outlaws, as we like to call ourselves in Gita's side of the family. There's been a little bit of advice given, at different times during the course of the afternoon. I only have one thing to say to you, and that's saying, or a blessing in a way, that a good friend of mine gives at weddings, and that is that may you never know one another. And I don't mean that in the physical sense, but be discovering, creating anew all the time. And I think that ties in with what Cliff and others have said today, that is how to keep your marriage really great and your relationship going. And I think you know that, but may you never know one another. Lastly, I just want to say, looking out onto us all assembled here today, it's just an absolute dream come true. This is the Rainbow Nation. This is South Africa, and I just really, really privileged and pleased to be part of this, and part of creating the people that we're here with, and being able to celebrate us, all of us together. It can be done. It can happen, and we just represent this most amazing new life in this country. I want to end off by saying thank you so much to Gail and to Gavin for this evening, for this whole day, for everything that you've put together, and thank you for your daughter.
I give you the mic once. Sure. I believe he might have just summed up everybody's speeches. So thank you, Dad. That was beautiful. 99% of it was. So you see where I get it from. Next up, I'm going to invite Sello to maybe say a few words and say some thank yous. It's been a beautiful afternoon and many words have been said. And so I'm not sure how much more Sello has to add, but he was just saying to me that He really wanted the 56 words. He just wanted the opportunity to thank everyone. So, Sello.
Thank you. Sure. So I mean, I had prepared a speech for today, but I mean, I don't want to regurgitate and repeat a lot of what people have said. So I think from my side, it's going to be a simple thank you. I will go into detail, obviously, and think, you know, there are special mentions that I have to make. I think to my dad for... Okay. I think, you know, my dad for making me the man I am today, allowing me to be here, giving me the opportunities. Yeah, just thank you. Yeah, special mention obviously to the Klassen household, Uncle Gavin, Auntie Gail, I think, and the Blanches. Mine, Pa. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I guess if I take it back, obviously, you know, leading up to the wedding, there's been a lot of advice that's been given, and you know, common thread has been communication, as Uncle Cliff highlighted in the ceremony. And I think when I first met Carla, and then her family and her friends, Monet, Gavin, you guys are very loud together. And it can be very overwhelming, because I think when I was brought up, you know, I learned the concept of inside voices and outside voices. But walking into the Klassen household, there's one voice, and it's just loud, and it's always on. But there's obviously a lot that comes from that, and I think I've come to understand in our time together that, you know, sharing really is caring, and I think it's great to be able to express yourself and just speak freely, and thank you for Carla and family for, you know, inviting me in and, you know, keeping me around for as long as I have been. I really appreciate it, and obviously how you're there for my mom. Yeah, ever grateful. Thank you. What else? Thank yous. Yeah, I mean, for people who have traveled far and wide, and people, I don't know if we're still streaming, but I guess for the people that have tuned in from across the world, people in America, England, Dr. Pam, you know, all of the people that have tuned in today, thank you. And yeah, I really appreciate each and every one of you. I guess you guys have all in some way made a difference in each of our lives. I'm okay. And I got it. It's sitting here, but I got it. Yeah, so thank you. I guess you've obviously contributed to the people that we are today. And I'm good. And yeah, I guess for that we're just ever grateful, and you know, hopefully we can do you guys proud as well, because obviously this is us, this is it, and we don't take this commitment lightly. So yeah, looking forward to our life together, Carla, my wife. Yeah, I love you very much. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a lot, not that short. Yo. Respect me. Sello actually just asked me, he said, please thank whoever I didn't thank. Thank whoever I didn't thank. I think firstly, thank you everyone for being here tonight. Not so long ago, the two of us weren't sure this was going to happen. as my friend who's not able to be here tonight would say, we're in a plague. So, we really understand how important and significant this day is. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. I think the last 18 months have not been the easiest for all of us, for obvious reasons. But it's been an incredible time for Sello and I to have really big conversations, which we were having anyway. But the global pandemic kind of strips away a lot of the noise and enables you to just really get down to the bones of what you want. The end of 2019, I was in Cape Town towards the end, and I remember I was in the kitchen, and Gita asked me, "So Carla, when are you and Sello gonna get married?" Very kindly and gently. And what I didn't say to Gita in that moment is that I had been standing there. Sello and I had always had this joke, in 10 years' time. And while I was in Cape Town, I'd had this incredible realization that I didn't want to wait anymore. That there was no reason to. Oh, did we almost catch on fire? Oh dear. And I came home, I was incredibly nervous. And he picked me up from the airport, and I was quiet all the way home. We went to my parents' place. I was like sitting in the lounge, and we were sitting with my parents. And eventually I was like, "Can I talk to you?" And we went into my room, and I obviously started crying, because what's new? And I said, I want to say something to you. I said, "I don't want to wait anymore." And of course, Sello said, "Yeah, me too." I said, "Why didn't you tell me?" He said, "I was hoping to surprise you." But no, these last 7 years have been incredible. And to anyone who's wondering why we waited 7 years, I think Sello and I have always entered into every phase of our relationship very consciously. And we have fully chosen each step with each other, fully. And that's why it took 7 years. We were 21 kids when we met. And neither of us are the people we were then, thankfully. And it's just been incredible growing up with Sello and becoming an adult with him and facing the world with him, because there's nobody else I'd rather want to do it with. If it's anything to go by, as much as it was love at first sight for me, my family was pretty much the same. Generally, when I introduce Sello to people, this is what happens. They stop asking me how I am. When I arrive, they say, "Where's Sello?" I'm like, "Wow, I haven't seen you in like a month. Can we just have a conversation about me before talking about him?" And I think that's the incredible magnetism that you have. You are, I always say it, but you are a shining bright light. Always, baby. And I will never let you forget it. Never. So yeah, we're just really happy to be at this point. And we had a moment earlier where I said to him, "Yeah, this kind of just feels like, cool, it was supposed to happen. It was just supposed to happen. It's surreal and it's beautiful having all of you here to share this with." And, we had a lot of conversations about why marriage, why choose to have a wedding, what is the significance of these traditions. And for us, it's really for people to witness, but also we have an incredible love and appreciation for community and for family. And we understand how important it is, like my father-in-law said this afternoon. My dad. We'll talk about the name, ne? We'll talk. We'll talk. We understand why it is important for people to witness this. As much significance as we give this relationship, we understand what it means to do this in front of all of you and to share our relationship and our love and our commitment with you and for you to hold us accountable. We were not just raised by our parents, we were raised by communities. And we know we would be nowhere without the people in this room. Who? So, I would like to say, funny anecdote. I think one of the many ways I knew I was in the right family. Ooh. I remember it was like the first time I went over for Sunday lunch. I'd already met Sello's parents. And I came in and we were sitting at the lunch table. I think I've probably told the story a bunch of times. And Sello's dad was sitting at the head of the table and was, newly introduced to racial politics and feminism, and so I was fiery. And I remember making a comment very freely at the table, talking about the systemic racism within the institution I was in at that time. And it went quiet. Sello's dad looked at me and he said, "You are radical." And I was like, I've got him. Not even. I was on a tangent. But I think I've always appreciated, with the Uncl'es and the Rendels, that they've welcomed my fiery spirit and have held that space for me and created so much safety for both me and for Sello. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me into your family with so much warmth and love. I never felt unwanted. I always felt so held and so safe. And then to my parents, thank you. I really appreciate everything you've done for me and for Sello and for this incredible day that couldn't have happened without you. Mom, I love you. And Daddy, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for this. And thank you for loving Sello the way you do. It makes the world of difference, and I'm so glad that I get to share in my love of him with you. I was thinking the other day, I've known Sello for a quarter of my life. And I was thinking how incredible it is that the two children that are here today, Aria and Randy, I think Randy was like maybe maths 2 when we started dating. She can't remember a life without him, and neither will Aria. And how incredible is it that you are just inherently a part of my family now. So thank you everyone for being here. I love you.
Alrighty, how's about a first dance? Can we get some tunes for the guys? time for your dad. You're going to dance with your dad now. That was beautiful. Uncle Gavin, how's your dance moves? It's your time. It's your time. Daddy daughter dance. Uncle Gav, you've got moves, my man. Oh, I see what was going on there, Auntie Gav. All right, it's time for all the kings and queens to go and stand over there because it's Bouquet and Garter throwing time. So whoever's hopeful, it's your time to shine. Don't be shy, don't be shy. Is everyone ready? We're gonna throw on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go! All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. That concludes our wonderful proceedings for this evening. Dessert is over there. Please help yourself. The dance floor is open over here. Please help yourself. Where's Uncle Gavin? I want to go and have a dance.